Welcome back to another episode of the Universal Voice. And Manchester United have drawn 3 games back to back, 1-1, 1-1, 1-1. And I don't know where to start, to be very honest. And I'm thanking God that I'm joined by Luke and Tanmay to share this misery along with me. How are things going, Luke? How are things going, Tanmay?
Not too bad, mate. Not too bad.
Tanmay, how's life, man?
For me, it's going bad because United is kind of my life. So if the team performs crap, it literally destroys my social life.
I'm sailing the same boat. All right, so let's dive into this. Luke, you've come on after a long time. The last time you were here, we were still singing Ollie's at the Wheel. I can't even remember. How
I think I was on
changed?
the fence for that one.
So let's get your first initial thoughts about the game that we saw yesterday and just a whole vibe of things going on right now, Luke.
Where to start? I mean, the game, let's just focus on that for the moment because, we're still pretty fresh from it. The last 3 games, 3 draws. I mean, we lost to Middlesbrough. Like, what the hell? It's just weird because you look at like these first half performances and, we're getting 20 minutes, 30 minutes stints of like some good football and like you're just sort of like waiting for the moment where, when we go on a bit rampant run and we score like 2-3 goals. And it's just been probably one of the most frustrating times as a Manchester United fan in a while because like the goals just haven't been coming. And it's just a bit of a teaser because you can see what like the capabilities are. And to me, it just absolutely reeks out mentality. Like, how can you play like this for 20, 30 minutes? And then suddenly, like, you come out at half time and just lose your confidence and not put teams like Middlesbrough away, Burnley. I mean, like, look, no disrespect to teams like Burnley. Like, they've been in the Premier League for a while now, but, they sold, Wood to Newcastle and they replaced him with Weghorst. And it just, to me, as a Manchester United fan, it felt like we were playing against prime number 9 Ronaldo when he was at Real Madrid. I just felt scared. Do you know what I mean? Like, and that's just the way that we make players look. Man City or Liverpool, whoever will go and play Burnley and smoke them 4 or 5-0. It's such a weird time. The club as a general, I don't want to go into too much detail because I don't know where the questions are going to go next, but just look at the transfer activity, players that we lost, didn't bring anyone in. We're actually in a weaker position right now than what we were before the transfer window. We've still got players who don't want to be here. Some people might argue the players who went didn't want to be here, but like the reality is we've still got players here who don't want to be here. So it's just a bloody mess. And so is my mind with football right now.
So, Luke, something that you touched on right now, I feel like we've been saying this for years now, that we make teams look better than they are. We'll make players look better than they are. Tanmay, question to you would be specifically from the last game that we saw. Where do you think, if you have to pinpoint on something, is it something that you can pinpoint and say that, okay, this is what is wrong with the current Manchester United team? Is there something that you can't visibly obviously see what's wrong? Like maybe Luke mentioned that it's probably the mentality. Where do you sit with this exact specific topic?
For me, I feel that first of all, if you look at the performance of many of United players, it has been poor from the starting of the season. Our attackers were clinical. Like last season, we used to talk about Marcus Rashford. We used to talk about Cavani. But this season, they are not even clinical. Their finishing has been poor. And if you look at our defense, look Shaw, man, what the fuck he's doing. Just look the way he's leaving his area. It's like, first of all, when he's there, he's not even looking at the offside trap. He's not even forming a line.
They played him on.
And then, sometimes if you look at Luke Shaw's area, the left side of the pitch, it's like Luke Shaw sometimes plays like a centre back. And I'm like, who is on that side? Because We literally give them an open space to go and run and attack us. We have been poor in all the areas. United has been poor. There's not even one positive area that I can talk of. Oh, there is one. David De Gea. David De Gea is the only positive thing.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
I wanted to keep an open-ended conversation today, which is because I was hoping that we would get topics that we're talking about and interacting, could probably pave the way of a conversation through that. And I was we were definitely going to talk about the players, and because you've already touched on it, let's start with that then. Shocking performances. I mean, fucking shocking performances from people that we expect so much better. And it's not even that. There are many people who are putting things on Cristiano Ronaldo, who's been bad in the last 2 games. I agree with that. But it's not just Cristiano Ronaldo. If only it was just Cristiano Ronaldo. I think out of the 11 players that are performing right now or playing in the starting lineup, I can name 7 or 8 who've been awful. And if 7 or 8 or 6 or 7 of your players are not performing to their potential, how do you expect to get anything from this team? Luke, I'm going to throw this on you. So we have Harry Maguire, the captain of Manchester United. Fantastic Euros. Decent, good. I'm not going to sit here and talk as if he's never been good for us. He was decent last season. Harry Maguire. Luke Shaw, the man's just gone. Again, last season, fantastic finish of the season. Euros, pretty good Euros. Just not come back yet. And I think these players signify or amplify the kind of performances that we've been seeing this entire season. Where do you stand with these players who were clearly doing something right before? And I didn't know.
I don't know. From my personal observation, like I watched Luke Shaw's. He did an interview in one of the games. It might have been after the Wolves game when we lost 1-0, and he said something about maybe the manager's got some new ideas to bring to the table. And I just think he himself, with maybe the likes of Harry Maguire, I think that our changing room is just split into multiple groups, and we're in a situation of where players just don't get on with other players, and it's probably really hard to play with each other because there's just such a big divide, and that's not just even through the players. It's probably happening with the staff, the leadership, the board. It's just I don't think these players have their mind into it. And if you ask me, to keep a long story short, without going into too much detail, because we've all got to get sleep, we've got to do work and stuff, but I would happily accept a complete overhaul again. I'd get rid of Shaw. It hasn't worked. He's been an all right player, but it hasn't worked. And again, we're going through. He is in one of those situations again where it's not working with yet another manager, and he's come out and said some positive stuff and said, "Oh, this isn't true, that isn't true." But then weeks ago, he came out and said, "Oh, maybe the manager can come up with it." You can see it in his attitude. If you've got half a sense of good people skills, social skills, you can see you can get a good sense of what's going on and how he feels. And I would love to see this summer a complete overhaul. I'd love to see people like definitely Maguire go. He's not good enough. Let's stop catering it. It's beyond a joke for me now. He's not good enough. We were quick enough to say Jones isn't good enough and make memes about him. How many memes can you make now about Harry Maguire? My word, the guy is just shocking. He is. He's one of the best players, aerial abilities, at winning a header. But he's a 50p head. Why can't he get the ball on fucking target? Ever. He's just he's a massive list of comical mistakes defensively. It just hasn't worked. It hasn't worked. Lots of these players, I think, have to leave. Even I'd hate to see De Gea go because I think he's world class, but I mean it. Even if it was a total overhaul, because any player that is in the team now and they've shared this mentality, I just feel we need a complete reset. It's got to be a reset.
It's like the bad apple theory, isn't it? It's literally like that. You feel like you've reached a point where you need to completely refurnish this entire setup.
completely. Like, there shouldn't be another player in this lineup that starts in 2 years' time where they were around the Oli era and sort of now, because that negativity is still in the dressing room. Even if they don't have much of a say, it's still there. And if we have a youth player coming through, they could talk. And you reek of your attitude, especially in a professional elite sport.
I'm going to carry forward this exact conversation on to you now, Tanmay, because you can definitely come back into it. Look, if you have any thoughts on this. See, we are not going to let a few players, because we don't want to sit here and be hypocrites. I think the last 2 games, I don't think it's been before that, personally. But the last 2 games, Cristiano Ronaldo has looked off, like, to say the least. He's looked very off. He's been a shadow of himself. I think he's been playing to about 30 or 40% of what he looks like. Is this just a matter of being off form, or is this the age catching up to him, or is this the infection that he's carried on or gotten from the rest of the players around him? What do you see, Tanmay? Something that's not Cristiano Ronaldo that we're used to seeing.
For me, it's a combination of infection and age. Because Ronaldo is a machine, I agree with that. But we have to look at his age also. And if you are moving back to EPL, a fast league, then it's actually difficult for him to cope in every match, to be fully fit. Because we play around 2 or 3 matches every week. And for Ronaldo, if you look at him, he's a competitive player. He wants to play full 90 minutes every match. And it's taking huge toll on him. And now, the way other players are performing and all the rumors are going on, so his performance also got affected because of that. I feel like Ronaldo needs some, like Bruno, sometimes if Bruno and Pogba are playing well, then Ronaldo receives the ball and tries to do something. But other than that, there is no service to him at all. And also, if you see in recent last few matches, have you seen the number of offsides he has gone into? Like, in every match, I can easily count 3 to 5 times. And if I was looking at the starting of the season with Ronaldo, he was in proper line. He knew that at what time he has to make the movement. But in the last 2-3 matches, everything is going south for him.
Tanmay, to add to that, I think for me, if I had to sum up his games, he's gone from looking confident to desperate.
Yeah.
And that's like what you're talking about, maybe getting caught off with the offsides, constantly falling back and trying to get involved in the game. Not things, just basic dribbling sets that he would do, not coming off. Like yesterday, I saw so many times him losing the ball. I just feel that now it's taking a toll on him. He knows that he himself is not performing. He's not scored in so many games.
Yeah, he has to go. He knows the pressure.
Yeah. So I think you can see that literally shaping up right now. Look, anything to add on the Ronaldo factor right now? Because he also, at the moment, is a part of the problem.
He is. This was always going to be the problem with the Ronaldo signing. And I think, I can't remember who it was, some pundit the other day said Manchester United never planned to sign Ronaldo. They only did it because, Man City, the Glazers they were already taking how much shit from the fans. They couldn't see Ronaldo in a Man City top. I think they were right. There was no plan to sign Ronaldo because look at the balance of the team. Was it romantic and fucking awesome? Yes, it was. Scored that 2 goals against Newcastle on his debut. It was just like, wow, life is great. Ronaldo is back. But he is 37. Is he 37 now? He just turned 37.
Yes.
37.
He's not Ronaldo, mid-20s where he's just, he beats 4 or 5 players and scores a screamer. It's not. It's different. He needs the whole team to be working in unity. And the word unity in Manchester United right now is just,
It's sad. It's fucking sad because it's Manchester United and we all constantly hear stories about a divided group of players. And it's just sad.
It really is. It's so poor. And it comes from the leadership as well. I'll tell you now, and this is my opinion, and I hate to say it, if the Glazers are at Manchester United for another 15, 20 years, maybe even longer, because they might hand it down to whoever is next in line. We will never change. We will be shit. We will. I think this is the start of when we drop as like the top 8 team. It's happening. Harry, how shit are we? Like, our centre back, Harry Maguire, like, fuck, I get pelters from Arsenal fans now, and I can't help but agree with them. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just awful, man. It really is how far that the apple has fallen from the tree. It's quite comical.
It's like, I know we've touched on Harry Maguire, Luke Shaw, Cristiano Ronaldo, but like I mentioned before, guys, we can talk about so many players. We can sit and have a conversation about just the players for the next 5-6 hours, and it still might not be enough. And that's the sad part, because we were supposed to get in these 3 fantastic players, Varane, Sancho, Ronaldo, and build on what we have. And I've forgotten about him because he doesn't play.
How is the staff not changing? How are we not changing our staff? Like the coaching staff, the coaching setup. How many managers do we have to go through? How many managers do we have to go through with really shit form and players not progressing? Like when Rashford bursted onto the scene, in full credit to Van Gaal, I fucking hated his football, but he brought some youth players through, and they looked good. And they did come through, you know, like he brought Martial in, that fucking debut against Liverpool, and he had all right seasons. But then managers and the coaching staff that we've had since then have not progressed any of these players. Why are we keeping the same coaching staff, but we're getting rid of the manager?
Whereas they have decreased the performance of the players. Look at this set-piece coach who we got from Chelsea.
No, we haven't actually scored from a fucking corner.
We haven't actually, no. And Chelsea has scored highest number of goals in set pieces in EPL after the coach left. And since the time he has joined us, we have scored 0. That's the level.
But do you know
it's comical?
Can you hear yourself talking right now? And like it's the same thing that we've been repeating over and over for years and years. If it's not the players, it's the manager. If it's not the coaching staff, and then it's something wrong with the player. Yeah. It's like there's this big old hold and grip on us by the owners, and they're playing the shittiest fucking game of Monopoly, and they're just riding out their luck after. Right. Imagine getting 25 million for a training top sponsor after being this shit.
Oh, did that not make you guys so angry? We lost to Middlesbrough, whatever, that happened, you know, and then suddenly, I think the Burnley game happened, and then you see it's such a classic Manchester United PR move. Right, we've been shit. The fans hate us. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to drop a training top. And
become Arsenal.
We're just like Arsenal. Like social media FC, you know, like just because I'm so tired of our players coming out and being like this, that, the other, like, you know, like things have to improve. It's so fucking boring. It makes me feel so disconnected from my club that I love to watch, that I still get up and watch at ridiculous hour o'clock, because you know the players don't mean it. It's just a PR. They don't actually care. It's just shocking. And as for the owners, did you see? I can't remember his name. I think he works for BT. He's a pundit, and he posted what food.
That shit! Yes, of course. Something Jeremy, something. Jake, something, Jake. Something, Jake. Yeah.
Anyway, it looked horrible. It just looked like something you fucking see on the floor at 8 a.m. in the city. You know what I mean? Like, it just, Oh, we're a joke on all fronts at the moment. It's shit. It's pretty shit.
Tanmay, hi, what's up? I think this shit show, like I wanted to call this, but obviously I can't call it for reasons I don't want to get banned. But this is what the reality is of this club. And you know what? I mentioned something before on the group that all of us are part of. I am resigned to the fact mentally that this team firstly does not deserve to be in the top 4 the way that we have been playing. I am mentally switched off to the point where I know for a fact that we probably finish 6th or 7th. If we're lucky, then 5th. We will be getting beaten off by City, Chelsea, even Arsenal. Probably win or draw against Spurs. Liverpool will thrash us again. So in my head, mentally, I've pictured the entire next 2-3 months so that I'm prepared for the summer. because every single day that we watch a game, tell me guys, the last 3 games, are you telling me that you expected to draw all these 3 games? Because I went to the game every single time saying, oh, we're going to win this. Oh, we're finally going to win this. Oh, we're going to win this. To the point where we are actually fooling ourselves now. I mean, where do you go from there? There's so much wrong with this club right now. And I don't know where to pinpoint the problems or the concerns. Like, we've not spoken about the manager. So let's talk about the manager now. Let's talk about the coaching staff right now. We have Ralph Rangnick on board. And Tanmay, I'll start off with you first. We've seen him for now, what, almost 2 months? Or I think 2 months.
Yeah, 2 months.
Do you see progress? Do you see what he's trying to get in? And what's happening on Ralph Rangnick's side?
So, I can see the progress which is happening in the club, but thing is that the kind of football that Rangnick wants us to play, our players are only capable of playing that kind of football for 20-25 minutes. And after that, they just turn off. They are like, fuck it, I'm not doing it. And even in last 3 matches, if you would have seen, after scoring the first goal and after having the lead, United players were like, okay, that's it. I don't want to work hard. That's it. That's the game for us. And teams are not even scared for us. They know that because the kind of football that Rangnick wants to play, after a certain time, United players won't even work hard. So we just have to sit back in the starting minute, allow United to attack us, and after 25-30 minutes, we will go and attack at United score, and we will fucking easily win against United. Have you seen the interview of the Southampton manager, what he said? He clearly said the same thing.
Of course.
Because everyone knows that.
Luke, before I bring you in, just to bring a few quotes from Rangnick from after last night's game. Quote unquote, we will struggle to finish 4th with games like these. We have to be more lethal, robust, decisive. We stopped doing the things in the second half, which has been a thing for the last 3 games. We need to get more compact, aggressive, and nasty. Look, I feel that this person knows his shit. He's trying to figure out. He knows what he needs to get out of this team. He also mentioned that in order to make this group play regularly for 90 minutes, press the way he wants to, he needs a pre-season. Clearly indicating or hinting for the fact that this team was not made for this, which makes sense because we were made to be a counter-attacking team. Luke, where do you sit on Ralph Rangnick right now? And how do you see this season unfolding over the next 2-3 months?
I really enjoy watching his press conferences because I feel that there is a lot of footballing intelligence there from on the pitch, coaching players, philosophy, clear philosophy. However, obviously as fans, we don't really see what fully goes on behind the scenes. So it's hard to, it's so early, and because he's an interim manager, it sort of like tinkers with my thinking a little bit around him, because it's like, this is a means to an end. So it's like, can you really be that harsh on him? Like when he's dropped into this shit bomb of a club, like he's probably, why the fuck is Harry Maguire still starting, man? Like, fuck's sake, he's shit. He is shit. He has to be taken off. Like, I don't understand it. Like Elanga, right? He played that really good game against Brentford. Why is Rashford just bang, bump on the pitch? Let's go. Why? I don't get it. I don't understand. Why is he doing the same shit that Ollie did? We were calling for Ollie's head because he was making these dumbass decisions with subs. But then now I'm starting to see the same shit with Rangnick. So I'm like, you're either shit or like Ollie, maybe. Are you working with one hand behind your back here? Like, is there this weird sort of contract stuff because Man United spent so much money on Harry Maguire and he's Mr. Social Media FC? It's like, you know, someone's in his ear, he has to play, like he has to play or he has to get this many minutes. I don't understand it because I think the whole world can see how. Do you hear what Jack Stam came out and said about Harry Maguire?
No.
Whoever brought him into the club needs. Yeah, he said something like, "Whoever brought him into the club needs to be fired." Like that. Whoever paid 80 million, accepted it, and brought him in. That process right there, that part of the process needs to be looked at, because why are they okaying it? Why have they not foreseen this? You know, it's just weird. So I don't know about Rangnick. I don't know. Like, it's really hard. Great footballing mentality. He speaks so well he articulates his philosophy so well. Like, it sounds so good, but we're still shit. Why are we so shit in the second half when we've got this really good tactical manager? Like, you've got to look at it. We've still got some really good players in that team. You've still got Cristiano Ronaldo, Mr. Confidence, striker. You've still got your Bruno Fernandes, Varane, World Cup winner, Mr. fucking Champions League. Rashford on his day, a great youth player. Like, we've still got the quality there, but we're not good. So it's hard. I don't want to judge him because he's an interim manager. He's a means to an end, and he's going to go into a role that to me is irrelevant because he's not going to have any say on how Manchester United is run as a club. Let's be real. It's not going to happen. He's not.
You know what? Just because you said that last statement, we are fans. We're talking like this. Don't you think the players have the same mindset when they go into the dressing room? He's just here for a few more months. Let him blabber on. Let him figure out what he wants to do.
Yeah. Imagine him coming into the changing room telling you, that's it. It's time to fucking work hard. And then Luke Shaw or Harry Maguire is just like, no, fuck you. I play no matter what. How shit I play. Like, it's a joke of a club. It's really fucking scary. West Ham are above us and deservedly above us. David Moyes managing his West Ham, and we fucking fired that. Oh, bro, it just makes me angry thinking about it now. Like, we fired him. He's at West Ham, and he's doing better than us, and deservedly as well. It's crazy.
But that's the thing, right? That's the thing. Taking that same conversation down the line now, Tanmay, to you, just to follow up on what we've been talking about, where it's so obvious when you see that guys, we're mentioning players like Harry Maguire, Luke Shaw, Cristiano Ronaldo, but there is definitely more to this team which is wrong. And of course, we can't sit and talk about every single player, but you guys know what we're talking about. You guys know which players we're talking about. The same thing, Luke mentioned this point. Why the fuck is Lindelof still sitting on the bench to the point where his house got burgled in when his wife was all alone with his kids at home? That's the only reason he had to come out of the team. He was playing really good football. You bring in Harry Maguire back just because he is the captain of this team, and no Manchester United fan as it is accepts him as the captain. No one is going to go and strangle your throat for removing him from the starting lineup. I don't understand that until and unless, like Luke, you touched on something that maybe there is something there behind the scenes that we don't really know about, that there are certain players that have to start no matter what. So Tanmay, bringing you in with this conversation further, do you think at the situation that we are in right now, top 4 is something that is still achievable for us?
We are fucking crap. Football is our weakness.
Well said. Boys, this could get worse. This
it can get worse.
We're that shit. We've got Brighton next. Brighton could beat us at Old Trafford. I'm not kidding.
They can beat us.
Oh, fuck. And we've got Leeds.
Man, I'm telling you.
Every single team plays better than us.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. If we were playing in Championship, I guess we would have performed the same manner. I would not put United at the first spot, winning Championship also. We are so fucking disgraceful that whichever league we are playing, just think about the lowest league, and we would be sit over there also. That's so crap.
It's a mentality thing, yeah. I just think it's just awful. Like, where we're at the moment, it's an absolute mess. The fact that Manchester United literally hired an interim boss, to me, means that they've actually written this season off. Like, they've just.
Yeah, we do have a psychology coach, if I'm not wrong.
Yes.
Ragnick got a
old
psychologist,
psychologist, yes.
Yeah. What the fuck he's doing?
But that's the thing, right, Tanmay? We can sit over and talk about every single aspect of that club and be like, what the fuck are you doing? Because they're like, clearly there's something we've written off the season. The moment we sacked Ole and decided not to go for a permanent manager, we've written off the season. We thought that we have the players, we can at least get top 4. And that is all this club as it is cares about.
Yeah.
They thought they're going to get Poch. I know we talk about Ten Hag, we talk about Luis Enrique and other managers. Guys, I'm telling you right now, 99.9% we are getting Mauricio Pochettino, and that was always the plan.
Because
that was always the plan.
The board loves him. That's the thing. They won't think about the football and other things. They just love him and they will get him. And we all know.
You know why they
won't bring us trophies?
Because he's so desperate for the Manchester United job. That's why they love him. He's just going to be another Ollie. I mean, he might be a bit more tactically onto it. Maybe we'll get Harry Kane. I mean, I just don't like it. I don't like thinking next year, right, Poch is in. We brought Harry Kane in. Here we go, like fucking PR spin. The shirts are selling. Money's coming in. We play fucking, I don't know, Crystal Palace first game of the season. We win 1-0 or something. You know, like you could just see it. And then it'd just be the same old shit. Like, it just... I don't like it.
We've been through this cycle so many times, look, that we all can see it coming now. Guys, we have a good, sorry to break it up, we have a good 5 minutes remaining. I really want to touch on this last point before we call it a night or evening or day, wherever we are right now. I was frustrated, angry and happy at the same time when I saw Donny van de Beek in that fucking midfield pivot for Everton and bossing it. It blew my mind, and that just opens up another fucking side of things of this previous and the current coaching department, that this man is not physical enough for this league. I know it's one game, but we've seen Fred McTominay playing all sorts of shit this entire season, and this man, second game for Everton, played 90 minutes, and that's more than what he's played for Manchester United this season. Just it took him one full game and another half game. That's it. Any thoughts about that? The transfer business just before we end this, the January transfer window that we had.
Fucking disgraceful. Like, we didn't. It's absolutely criminal, and like it will sound like a scratch record being a Man United fan. How the fuck do we not have a new CDM? How do we not? Fine, okay, we're not signing anyone, but we're actually in a weaker position. Martial is now playing for Sevilla. Obviously, with the Greenwood situation, it's hard to foresee that, but he's now out there playing for Sevilla. We've got Lingard, who doesn't want to be here, and Donny van de Beek, who for some reason could never, no matter how shit McTominay played or Fred, would never get a look into that midfield. And now, from a game and a half that he's had, look, he's not, I'm going to say, the best centre mid in the Premier League, but he's probably better than what we've got. So that goes back to what I was saying about the political side of football at Manchester United. Why are the Maguires always starting, the Shaws, the McTominays, the Rashfords? It's like this, they're just trying to enforce this like English, born Manchester or coming through the youth sort of thing where they have to play. Do you know what I mean? So I think our transfer activity was shit, and it's embarrassing.
Tanmay, last thing coming in from you, for the same transfer window aspect, we saw our bench. By the way, for anyone who still thinks that Ronaldo was a bad buy, guess what? Cavani is injured again. Greenwood is no longer there. Yeah. We don't have a striker. Martial has been he's fucked off to Sevilla. So bringing in Tanmay, you saw our bench. Do you think that not bringing in another CDM or any other player in the January transfer window will really be the final nail in the coffin for us?
Yes, it's going to be. Okay, I understand that you want to provide huge amount of money to the new manager. You are trying to save for that. But man, everyone knows that. The summer transfer window, all the prices go up. Everyone knows that. It's the basic thing. Like, all the clubs are in the market, so you obviously have to pay more money for a player. Whereas in January transfer window, that's not the case. Because at that time, most of the players' contracts are going to expire, who want to leave the club mid-season. So you might get some good deals. Kamara was there, 6 million. For a club like Manchester United, 6 million is penny, man. It doesn't matter. So we could have taken risk. But we are fucking disgraced. The way they are running the club is fucking disgraceful.
Guys, I think I absolutely loved and enjoyed this therapy session. And thank you so much for coming on. And let's just hope for the best. Unfortunately, we are running short of time, so we'll have to cut it off here and we'll come back. And thank you so much, Luke, for joining in. Thank you so much, Tanmay, for joining in.
No worries, guys. Good on you.